You can't bring that thing through my terminal. The screech echoes through Chicago International as Robert Mitchell, clipboard raised like a weapon, blocks the path of 4 soldiers carrying a flag-draped casket. Cold fluorescent lights buzz overhead like angry wasps, while hundreds of passengers freeze mid-stride. Corporal Marcus Stone stands motionless at the front of the honor guard. His medals catch the harsh airport lighting. His jaw tightens, but he doesn't speak. Behind him, the American flag, covering his best friend's casket, ripples slightly in the recycled air. Main terminal is for passengers, not for parades. Mitchell's voice cracks with authority and annoyance. Take your ceremony to the service halls. Phones appear like magic. Whispers ripple through the crowd. A businessman mutters, "Just use the back way." An elderly woman stares at the flag with recognition. A 9-year-old girl clutches a gas station American flag, watching the man yell at her dead brother. Mitchell steps closer, his chrome watch catching the light as he gestures wildly. Do you see this chaos? 98% on-time departures. That's my record. Spittle flies from his lips. I don't care about your friend, your feelings, or your little flag show. The words hit the crowd like a physical blow. Even the teenager filming stops recording. Carmen Torres, Ryan's mother, makes a sound somewhere between a gasp and a sob. Sophia, her 9-year-old daughter, whispers, Mommy, why is that man being mean to Uncle Ryan? Marcus's breathing becomes deliberate, controlled. His fists clench once, then relax. The Purple Heart on his chest rises and falls with each measured breath. He says nothing. The silence screams louder than words. If you believe no one should be treated this way, type honor below. Your voice matters more than you think. Sir, we have authorization to use the main terminal. Marcus's voice is steady, respectful. His combat action ribbon catches the harsh airport lighting, a small rectangle of fabric that speaks of mountains and gunfire and promises made under foreign stars. Mitchell waves his clipboard like a weapon. Authorization from who? I run passenger flow here. Do you see this chaos? He gestures at the growing crowd. 98% on-time departures. That's my record. You're not ruining it with your parade. Behind Marcus, the honor guard stands motionless. Their faces are stones carved from discipline. To their left, a businessman films with his phone, muttering to someone about military drama. To their right, an elderly woman clutches her purse, staring at the flag-covered casket with recognition in her weathered eyes. Carmen Torres and 9-year-old Sophia emerge from the crowd. Carmen's calloused hands that once fixed Humvees in desert heat, tremble slightly as she watches the scene unfold. Sophia grips a small American flag, the plastic kind they sell at gas stations, but she holds it like it's made of gold. That's my son, Carmen whispers to no one in particular. That's my Ryan. Mitchell doesn't hear her, or pretends not to. He's already pointing toward a service corridor marked Authorized Personnel Only. Take your ceremony through the service halls. Same destination, 0 passenger disruption. The metal of Marcus's medals feels suddenly cold against his chest. The dry, recycled air of the terminal seems to thicken. He remembers Ryan's voice in that Afghan valley. If something happens to me, Marcus, bring me home through the front door. Let people see. Let them remember. A gate agent whispers to her colleague, Why don't they just go around? The whisper carries. Other whispers join it. What's the big deal? Just use the back way. Some people make everything about themselves. Marcus feels each word like shrapnel, but his posture doesn't change. His breathing doesn't quicken. 12 years of military bearing holds him upright while the civilian world swirls around him with its clocks and schedules and complete ignorance of what honor costs. Sophia tugs on her mother's jacket. Why can't we go with Uncle Ryan? Carmen kneels down, her voice breaking slightly. Because some people don't understand, mija. Some people forget that heroes deserve respect. Mitchell checks his watch, a chrome thing that probably costs more than a soldier's monthly pay. You have 30 seconds to clear this area, or I'm calling security to have you removed. This is a business, not a memorial service. The fluorescent lights continue their insectile humming. Somewhere in the distance, a flight attendant announces boarding for Dallas. Normal life continues, oblivious to the fact that in this moment, in this sterile corridor of commerce and convenience, honor itself stands trial. Marcus closes his eyes for exactly 1 second. When he opens them, his decision is made. Move, now! Mitchell steps closer, his clipboard now pointed like a spear at the casket itself. I don't care about your friend, your medals, or your sob story. Dead is dead. This is my terminal. The crowd thickens. A teenager with her phone already live-streaming laughs, actually laughs. Dude's going off on a coffin. Her friends giggle, phones raised. Someone else shouts, "World star!" The cruel laughter spreads like infection through the younger passengers. Marcus feels his jaw lock, the muscle beneath his skin twitching once. His hands remain perfectly still at his sides. The combat action ribbon on his chest doesn't move, his breathing so controlled he might be carved from stone. The smell of overpriced coffee mingles with someone's excessive perfume, creating a nauseating cloud. Are you deaf? Or just stupid? Mitchell's face is purple now, veins bulging. Maybe you got your bell rung over there? PTSD making you slow? He taps his temple mockingly. Security! I need security to gate B7. The insults land like artillery. Even some of the laughing teenagers go quiet. An older man in a business suit actually films closer, zooming in on Marcus's face, waiting for the explosion. This is gonna be epic, someone whispers. Carmen Torres presses her hand to her mouth, tears streaming. But it's Sophia who breaks the moment. Stop being mean to the soldiers. My brother is in there. Mitchell whirls on the child. Then maybe your brother should have thought about traffic flow before he died. He actually smirks at his own joke. What was he anyway? Another private? Cannon fodder? The terminal goes arctic. 200 people collectively hold their breath. Even the gate announcements seem to pause. Marcus's left eye twitches, just once. His medals feel like they're burning through his uniform. The polished floor reflects the harsh lights, creating doubles of everyone as if their shame is multiplied. The security guards arrive, hands already reaching for Marcus. One of them, young, soft, probably never seen anything harder than a drunk passenger, grabs Marcus's arm. Sir, you're disrupting airport operations. Move it along. Mitchell's smirk widens. He steps forward, emboldened, and does something unthinkable. He kicks the wheel of the gurney holding Ryan's casket. Not hard, but enough. The casket shifts slightly. The flag slides an inch. See? Just a box. Move your box, soldier boy. The crowd gasps. Phones lower. Even the cruel teenagers look shocked. The security guard's hand on Marcus's arm trembles slightly, feeling the iron tension in the muscles beneath. Marcus's breathing stops for exactly 3 seconds. When it resumes, it's different, deeper, like something primal fighting against chains. His eyes, when they finally meet Mitchell's, are no longer gray. They're the color of winter storms. The entire terminal waits for violence, expects it. Some even seem to want it. Instead, Marcus does something no one expects. Marcus doesn't move toward Mitchell. He moves toward Ryan. With deliberate slowness, he kneels beside the casket. His fingers, steady as mountains, gentle as prayer, reach for the flag that Mitchell's kick had displaced. The rough fabric whispers against his hands as he smooths it back into perfect position. Each fold, each stripe, each star aligned with reverence that makes the act feel sacred. The gesture takes 17 seconds. 17 seconds of absolute silence in a terminal built for noise. Then Marcus speaks, not to Mitchell, not to the crowd, to the casket. You don't move a hero. The words aren't shouted. They're barely above a whisper. But in the cathedral silence of 200 held breaths, they carry like thunder. The teenager with the phone slowly lowers it, her mouth slightly open. The businessman stops recording. Even the security guard's hand falls away from Marcus's arm. Marcus rises with military precision. When he turns to face Mitchell, his expression hasn't changed. No anger, no rage, just an immovable dignity that makes Mitchell step backward involuntarily. "You don't move a hero," Marcus repeats, and this time his voice carries the weight of every promise made in foxholes, every letter home never sent, every flag folded into a triangle and handed to a grieving mother. The smell of industrial cleaning fluid mingles with the acrid scent of shame. The terminal's recycled air feels suddenly thick, hard to breathe. Mitchell's clipboard hangs forgotten at his side, his purple face draining to ash gray. Without breaking eye contact, Marcus reaches into his chest pocket. He pulls out something small, metallic. It's a challenge coin, worn, scratched, carried through 3 deployments. He places it gently on top of the flag, right where Ryan's heart would be. "That's from the unit, brother," he whispers. "We're bringing you home." The coin catches the light, a small circle of honor in an ocean of fluorescent shame. No one moves. No one speaks. The very air seems to pause, waiting. Mitchell's mouth opens and closes like a fish pulled from water. The security guards look at each other, uncertain. They came to remove a disruption. They found themselves in the presence of something they don't have protocols for. Sofia Torres breaks the silence with a child's pure understanding. "See, Mommy? The quiet man is protecting Uncle Ryan." In the complete stillness, Marcus waits. Not for permission, not for apology. For the world to remember what honor looks like. The click of military dress shoes on polished floor cuts through the silence like a bell tolling. Major Jennifer Cross appears through the crowd, her Navy uniform crisp, her bearing unmistakable. She's 50-something, with silver threading through her hair and eyes that have seen enough to know the difference between theater and truth. "What exactly is happening here?" Her voice carries the authority of someone accustomed to being obeyed immediately and without question. Mitchell seems to deflate slightly, but rallies his bureaucratic courage. "Major, I'm Robert Mitchell, Operations Director. These people are disrupting passenger flow. I've ordered them to use the service corridors, but they're refusing to comply with airport regulations." Major Cross doesn't even glance at Mitchell. Her attention is fixed entirely on Marcus, one soldier recognizing another. She sees the combat action ribbon, the Purple Heart, the quiet dignity of someone who has carried heavier burdens than a flag-draped casket. She notices the challenge coin on the flag. "Corporal," she says, her voice respectful, "who are we honoring today?" "Private Ryan Torres, ma'am." Marcus's response is textbook military courtesy. "Killed in action, Afghanistan. Age 24, he saved 6 lives, including mine." Major Cross nods slowly. Her eyes move to the casket, then to Carmen and Sofia Torres standing nearby. The little girl still clutches her gas station flag, and something in the Major's expression softens almost imperceptibly. "Mr. Mitchell," she says, turning to the Operations Director, "I'm relieving you of authority in this situation. Please step aside." "You can't do that! I run passenger operations. This is highly irregular. Mr. Mitchell!" The Major's voice drops to absolute zero. "I am the senior federal official in this terminal. This is a United States Military Honor Guard escorting a fallen service member. You will step aside, or you will be removed. Those are your choices." The crowd watches this exchange like spectators at a tennis match, heads turning back and forth. But something is changing in their faces. The cruel amusement has curdled into shame. The teenager who was live streaming actually deletes her video. The businessman quietly puts away his phone and stands straighter. Major Cross addresses the crowd, her voice carrying easily through the terminal. "Ladies and gentlemen, we are in the presence of an American hero coming home. Private Ryan Torres died defending the freedom that allows us to travel safely, to complain about delays, to live without fear. The least we can do is show him the respect he earned." She turns back to Marcus. "Corporal, you have full authorization to proceed through the main terminal. Take all the time you need." Marcus nods sharply. "Thank you, ma'am." But Major Cross isn't finished. She looks out at the crowd, her voice rising slightly. "I'm going to ask everyone here to do something. Form 2 lines, one on each side of the corridor. Give this hero and his family the honor they deserve." Some promises don't wear name tags. The response is immediate and stunning. The businessman is the first to move, stepping to the left side of the corridor and standing at attention. The elderly woman who recognized the military procession earlier joins him, her purse clutched respectfully in front of her. The teenager follows, head bowed, her phone tucked away. One by one, two by one, the crowd transforms from audience to honor guard. Mitchell stands alone in the middle of the growing formation, looking lost and small. Major Cross approaches him, her voice quiet but firm. "Mr. Mitchell, you can be part of this, or you can be in the way of it, but you cannot stop it." He steps aside, his clipboard hanging limp in his hands. For the first time, he actually looks at the casket, at the flag, at the challenge, coin glinting in the light. The terminal transforms. What was chaos becomes ceremony. What was commerce becomes cathedral. If you believe dignity always finds its voice, even in silence, subscribe now. It's how we remember what must never be forgotten. The procession moves forward through the corridor of honor. 200 people stand in perfect silence, their heads bowed, their phones lowered. The only sound is the measured cadence of military dress shoes on polished airport floor, 8 boots moving in perfect synchronization, carrying a promise home. Marcus leads, his bearing as straight and true as the American flag that flies outside the terminal. Behind him, the honor guard maintains formation, each step deliberate, each breath controlled. The flag draped over Ryan's casket catches the golden morning light streaming through the terminal's enormous windows, transforming the red, white, and blue into something almost ethereal. As they pass, something remarkable happens. A businessman removes his baseball cap and places it over his heart. A mother lifts her toddler and whispers, "That's a hero, baby." An off-duty airline pilot in the crowd snaps to attention and renders a perfect salute. The gesture spreads through the crowd like wildfire, not ordered, not requested, simply felt. The teenager who had been laughing earlier now has tears streaming down her face. She pulls out her phone again, but this time types quickly and shows it to her friend. "I'm deleting everything. This is... God, we were so wrong." Carmen Torres walks beside the casket, her weathered hand resting on the polished wood beneath the flag. The smell of her son's cologne, the one she'd given him last Christmas, the one he'd saved for special occasions, seems to rise from the fabric. She remembers Ryan at 5, wearing his father's too-big army cap. At 15, oil-stained from fixing motorcycles. At 24, calling from Afghanistan to say, "Marcus makes the worst coffee, Ma, but he's got my back." Sophia doesn't skip now. She walks with the solemnity of a child who understands something profound has shifted. At the gate, the entire airline crew stands at attention. The captain has emerged from the cockpit, his uniform crisp, his expression carved from respect. "Corporal," he says to Marcus, "it would be our honor to carry Private Torres home. We've upgraded the family to first class." The least we can do. As they prepare to load the casket, Sophia suddenly breaks from her mother's hand. Before anyone can stop her, she runs forward and places her gas station flag on top of the larger one, right over Ryan's heart, next to Marcus's challenge coin. The small flag, plastic pole, bright colors, probably cost $2, looks perfect there. Sacred. Then she does something that breaks the last walls of composure in the watching crowd. She stands on her tiptoes and kisses the casket. "Bye, Uncle Ryan. We're taking you home the front way, just like you wanted." Marcus's eyes close for just a moment. When they open, they're glistening. He reaches down and gently lifts Sophia, holding her as she salutes her uncle one last time. The image, the battle-hardened soldier holding the little girl with the gas station flag, both saluting the fallen hero, burns itself into the memory of everyone present. Not a sound. And yet, the airport changed. The honor guard lifts Ryan Torres for his final flight home, through the main terminal, with dignity, with respect, with love. In the window's reflection, Mitchell watches, his clipboard on the ground, his shoulders shaking with something that might be shame or might be understanding finally dawning. If you typed honor earlier, thank you. If you subscribed, welcome. And if this story moved you, we stand together, even in silence. See you in the next one.